start off with a brief statement coming from General Azurin, and thereafter we will proceed with our press conference and presentation of our the information that we've gathered so far, and how we will go about with the methodology of investigation moving forward. So with that said, I turn the floor over to General Azurin for his statement.
So everyone, isang maganda at mapagpalang umaga sa inyong lahat. My fellow men, the creation of the Independent Commission for Infrastructure by His Excellency President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. marks a historic step towards accountability and genuine reform. This commission has been tasked to investigate, prosecute, and bring to justice all those responsible for corruption and malpractice in infrastructure projects. Projects that should have protected our people but instead have caused repeated sufferings during natural calamities. Every year, countless Filipinos endure the consequences of substandard and fraudulent public works, roads, bridges, and flood control systems that fail when we need them most. The ICI was established to end this cycle of negligence and betrayal. The President's directive, reinforced by the memorandum from the Office of the Executive Secretary dated September 29, 2025, calling on all department secretaries, bureau heads, and agency leaders to fully assist the ICI, is a clear testament to the sincerity and determination of this administration to build a better Philippines, a bagong Pilipinas founded on transparency, integrity, and justice. This is a defining moment in our nation's history. The Philippine National Police, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the National Bureau of Investigation are now being called upon to take an active role in uncovering the truth behind the anomalous flood control and infrastructure projects under the DPWH. Projects that have long overburdened our people with grief, loss, and despair. Across the country, voices from all sectors are rising. Citizens, workers, professionals, and youth alike, urging our military and police to join this crusade against corruption. Their call is valid, and their cause is just. Yet we must remember, real change cannot be achieved through division, chaos, or violence. We have seen in our history that revolutions in the streets may topple governments, but they do not always heal a nation. Today, we are called not to fight one another, but to stand together, not through protests or rallies, but through truth, unity, and justice. Let us expose corruption, not with anger, but with justice. Let us work hand in hand to bring the guilty to account and to finally end the suffering of our people. Let this be our rallying cry. This time, we do it right. For our country, for our children, for a truly better Philippines. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
All right. Thank you very much, General Azurin. So we will now proceed to the press conference. We will be presenting to you several slides. Ano bang purpose nito, no? We would like to show the public kung ano ba yung tinitignan natin na task at hand ng ICI, no? Kung gaano kalawak yung kailangan na imbestigahan, ano yung nakikita namin so far, and how challenging the task will be. But despite that, we are determined to comply or to deliver our mandate. So, last week, we had a meeting with the DPWH, headed by Secretary Dizon, and he shared with us data and information. So, in the first slide, makikita po ninyo dyan na based sa data na nag-gather ng DPWH, ng DILG through the PNP, ng DND through the AFP, and also from the DepDev, no? Ang universe po, meaning, ang lahat po ng infrastructure project na tinitignan po natin from 2016 to 2025, nasa 238,200 projects. Ngayon, titignan po natin dyan in particular yung flood control projects. Kung makikita po ninyo dyan sa graph na yan, 12.5% yan ay flood control. This translates to almost 30,000 flood control projects. Hindi pa po dito kasama yung sinasabi po ni Secretary Babes na yung convergence. Dahil dito po ay may mga flood control projects rin po na nakatago na sa ngayon po ay sinasala po namin kung ilan pa po yung madadagdag dyan. So, but basically, titignan po muna natin kung ano po ba itong flood control projects na to on paper. We're looking at 29,800 flood control projects. Ganyan po karami yan. Almost 30,000. So, ano pong ginawa natin dito, no? Next slide, please. Nag-validate po initially ang AFP, PNP, DepDev, at DPWH. And based on the data provided to us, ang flood control projects po na na-validate, initially validated, ay 8,000. 8,000 pa lang po, no? From the 29,800, no? And out of this 8,000, meron po tayong 421 suspected ghost flood control projects. So, ginagawan po natin ngayon, nagzi-zero in po tayo dahil sabi ko nga po kanina, napakalawak at napakalaki po ng task na kailangan gawin at maimbestiga ng komisyon. So, nagzi-zero in po tayo ngayon. Nagiging mas organized, we're more organized now. We know what to look for initially. And these are the ghost projects na 421. Based on initial field investigation or validation po. Now, next slide. Ito po nahahati, no? Hinati po ito sa Luzon, Visayas, at Mindanao. Doon sa 421 po na yan, sa Luzon ay 261 suspected ghost projects. Flood control projects, I mean, to be more specific, from 2018 to 2024. Pagdating po sa Visayas, meron po tayong 109 suspected ghost projects. Same time frame, from 2016 to 2024. So 109 po yan sa Visayas, no? Pagdating po sa Mindanao, meron po tayong 51 suspected ghost flood control projects from 2018 to 2024 po ulit. So makikita po natin, ang total po niyan ay 421 ghost projects based on initial field validation. Dito po tayo mag-zero in initially dahil ito po ay medyo, ito pang tinatawag natin na low-hanging fruit po, no? Dahil ghost projects nga po. Kumbaga po, na upon validation po, field validation, talaga pong ghost sila, meaning wala po tayong nakita mga proyekto. With that said, I now turn over the floor to General Azurin to discuss with you on what will be the process of the ICI with regard to these ghost projects. Kasi kailangan po natin maging systematic dito, no? Para po mapabilis yung proseso. So, perhaps po, General Azurin, pwede po ninyo ma-explain sa kanila kung ano.
Thank you, Attorney Brian. Again, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. So, dito po, kung mapapansin po ninyo dun sa slide, meron po tayong week 0, week 1, week 2, and week 3 and 4. So, tapos na po yung week 0, ito po yung na-turn over na po ng ating DPWH, yung initial po na validation po nila doon sa mga suspected na ghost projects, which is 421 suspected ghost projects. So, ito pong validation na ginawa ng ating DPWH dito na ang nag-actual inspection ay mga tauhan po ng ating Philippine National Police, DILG, as well as yung Armed Forces of the Philippines, and yung mga other agencies na that was tasked by the DPWH. So itinurn over na po dito sa atin ngayon. So ang gagawin na po natin ngayon is yung technical validation. So ito na po yung ido-document na po itong mga 421 na to kung totoo ba na talagang yung location and then yung supposedly na project yung kung magkano yung project na supposed to be na doon ipapatay yung flood control. So ito po ang mga gagawa po rito ay mga engineers po natin, mga engineers na. So we tap yung engineers ng ng DPWH as well as yung Armed Forces of the Philippines, yung engineering brigade ng AFP. And then we are trying to tap also the other engineers, yung mga volunteers na welcome sila na tumulong po dito kasi napakarami nga ho ng kailangan na i-validate. After nito, sa week 2, pag natapos na yung validation ng technical, doon na po yung papasok yung case build-up po, na kung saan lahat po ng mga kailangan na document ay i-compile po to ensure po na it will have a case na ipa-file po sa ombudsman po. So dito po ay pwede nating magamit uli ang ating mga CIDG, National Bureau of Investigation, para initially ay prepare po nila yung mga documentations. But it will also be turned over po dito sa CIC, ICI, para nang sa ganon ay i-cross-check kung tama po ba yung mga cases na ipa-file at kung kumpleto po ba yung mga documents. So kung okay na po yan, dadalhin po yan sa ombudsman. Ito na po yung i-refer po natin, ipa-file na po natin. And it will now be the ombudsman who will be determining kung meron po bang sufficiente na ebidensya para kasuhan po yung mga yung mga ni-refer ng ICI, and then it will be referred to Sandigan Bayan. So yun po yung ating proseso na susundin dito. And for now, we are trying to look at least between now hanggang sa 3 to 4 weeks from now, we are looking for at least 15 cases na maipafile po. And then pagkatapos niyan, tuloy-tuloy na po kasi ongoing po ngayon yung validation pa ng mga ibang mga suspected na ghost flood control projects. So yun lamang po, magandang umaga po muli at salamat po.
So I guess that ends our presentation. Nakita po ninyo kung paano po yung magiging proseso natin, no? How we will be more systematic as we go along, kasi po nakikita na po natin kung paano ho to itatackle, no? Kumbaga paano natin masusolusyonan at mapapabilis yung proseso. So it's been barely a month, but despite of that po, we see progress. Nakikita po namin na paano natin mapapabilis ang proseso at paano po tayo makakabigay or makaka-file sa ombudsman ng mga aming mga recommendation or referrals, so to speak po. Gaya nga po nung unang slide, malaki po. But we're now trying to sinasala po natin unti-unti. It doesn't mean that we will not look into them later on. We will. Once we have more capacity, we will definitely look into those projects. But in the meantime, we feel that these are the low-hanging fruit, so to speak, na yung 421 na yan. Kasi po, there's gonna be a system for us that we're trying to make para po mas maging efficient po ang paggawa namin ng aming mga referrals to Ombudsman. Gaya nga po sinabi ni General, mga 15 to 20 po ang balak namin na ma-file within the next 3 weeks. But hopefully, with the system in place, this will be faster. So I guess that's it. Siguro, if you have any questions, siguro, a couple of questions, if you have any. Yes? Can you please state your name and...
Lance po from News Watch Plus. Sir, yung 15 to 20 cases, can you please walk us through po yung parang selection process? Ano yung mga, paano natin pinili itong 15 to 20 cases?
Okay, sige.
In the next...
Ito kasi is we'll be giving it sa technical yung sa sinabi ko kanina, yung technical validation. So lahat po ng mga documentation, yung filing po ng case is as they come. So kung sino po yung mabilis, sino po yung maunang mag-validate, sino po yung unang makapag-kumpleto ng mga document, yun po ang ipa-file natin na kaso.
Sir, sa ngayon po wala pa, hindi pa natin identify kung sino ang mga contractor, saan itong mga lugar ito, dun sa 15 cases.
This will be part of the documentation, yung ano bang project, ano yung geotag, yung location, and then magkano yung amount ng contract, sino ang contractor, sino ang mga district engineers, and then ano yung status ng project. So lahat yan ay i-compile yan, kaya nga medyo matagal ng konti yung yung compilation. Yes.
Good morning, Joseph. Sir, yung timetable nyo, third and fourth week, you are looking to file referrals to the Ombudsman. 1 month, we can do everything. I mean, maybe 15, 20. That's the timetable that you're...
Yan, yun yung tinitingnan namin, yun yung target namin na yun sa third to fourth week, starting from now, we can be able to file at least 15 cases. Kasi binigyan na sa amin yung document yung initial, yung 421, and then yun ang ite-technical validation ngayon ng mga engineers natin. So we are hoping na mag-cooperate yung weather, lahat mag-cooperate para sa ganon, ma-hit natin yung target na within 3 to 4 weeks from now.
So will you be personally going into these areas, and if you have a priority area now, which would be the watch?
Ang dyan is na-identify na eh. So it does not follow na kailangan pa kami doon eh. Unang-una is hindi naman ako engineer para malaman ko kung ano. So na-identify na yan. So it's more siguro yung nandito kami for the meantime para nang sa ganun ay ensure namin yung yung pag-document ng mga evidences.
It's going to be collation na lang, sir.
Yes.
Kasi
Last one na lang, sir. Yung 421, sir, would we be able to know the estimate amount?
wala pa ho yan.
Wala pa.
Sa ngayon, wala pa yung amount ng 421 na yan. But definitely that will be provided for once the referral is submitted to the ombudsman. Like what we did in our first submission, nung pagka-submit na yan, we provided you guys immediately of our recommendation, our referral. So in that case, makikita nyo na lahat ng detalye doon. Yes.
Good morning po, Gab Gonzalez po ng PCMM. General, nasunin din po sa week 3 to 4, nakalagay po doon yung filing with the Ombudsman, case docket, and then the issuance of ILBO. Dilinaw po kasi ng Bureau of Immigration that the ILBO does not prevent a suspect or a personality from traveling abroad, but more like monitoring na po. Mag-recommend na rin po ba tayo ng whole departure order instead of ILBO dito po sa mga...
Yung ILBO kasi na ginagawa, is a process yan na nasa parang what's bulletin ka. So pag ikaw ay nasama sa ILBO, kailangan magpaalam ka sa authority na ikaw ay lalabas, and it's up to for example, dito sa House of Representatives, they have to ask permission from the speaker kung papayagan sila o hindi. At least yes sir. Sige po.
At to add to that, yung whole departure order kasi ang nag-i-issue niya ng Korte, no? So until a case is filed with the Sandigan Bayan, wala pang whole departure. So this is the one that we can do right now is to ask or request for an ILBO, no? So until there's an actual case filed before our courts, in this case the Sandigan Bayan, wala pang HDO.
Yes. Follow-up na lang din po, Director. Yung schedule po natin tomorrow ay invited po si dating House Speaker Martin Romualdez and
Yes.
si Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman. Ano po ang aasahan natin bukas sa pagdinig kasama po sila?
Well, based on the invitation that we sent, no, humingi lang basically ang mangyayari dyan is we will be asking them the budget processes, kung ano man ang alam nila with regard to this flood control projects that we are investigating, and to shed light on certain matters also in connection with that. No? Hindi lang namin masasabi pa sa ngayon kung ano yung yung details of that, no. But definitely it has something to do with our mandate, which is to investigate the flood control projects and infrastructure projects which have been in a way said to be anomalous. So gusto namin malaman yun.
Last for me, sir. Nagpaabot na po ba ng mensahe or any response from the side si Zaldico sa commission, sir?
Wala pa. Okay, next.
Sir, kasama na po ba sa investigahan ng ICI? Nakapagod na po ba kayo ng case at Japan, Chulones, yung part 2 market,
Ganun na ba tayo?
Ito kasi kung mapansin nyo kayo na, di ba? We have 238,000 cases, ano. So we have to prioritize, ano. So as of now, we are focusing dun sa yung flood control, ano. But any report naman that will be coming, whether it's farm to market, convergence, i-compile namin yan so that once na naayos na yung yung processing ng yung flood control projects, then we will look into the other kasi all infra naman yung yung mandate ng ICI. Okay.
Sir, maybe kung sino yung possible personalities or at least former or incumbent government officials na kasama dun sa ipapile na next batch ng referral sa Ombudsman?
As of now, wala pa kaming nakikita na but definitely, ang umpisa kasi ng investigation dyan is dun sa babae, dun sa district, yan. We just follow yung yung paper trail siguro.
Pwede ba natin sabihin, sir, that most likely the same people na nasa first batch ng referral ay kasama rin sa susunod na batches of complaint for referral?
Hindi natin masabi pa sa ngayon.
Anong question? Ano pong question?
Yung sino raw yung mga makakaswan, sir, wala pa namang report sa rin.
It will depend on the evidence, no? Kung ano ang ebidensyang meron kaming makukuha, di siyempre sila yung mailalagay doon sa aming referral as persons who may be responsible. So, gaya nung dating like the first referral that we filed before the Ombudsman. It will be evidence-based.
Sir, Patrick po for Grapple. Sir, it's been a month since na Timan President yung PO creating ICI, and one of the provisions says na dapat the ICI is supposed to report or file a monthly report to the OP. Have we done that, and would that be also available to the public?
We're preparing that right now as we speak, and of course we will provide that to the public, no? Because it is something that is part of our duty. So we will provide you with a copy.
Sir, last na, regarding sa lobby ng transparency advocacy regarding live streaming, meron na bang decision ng ICI regarding that?
The decision is, the policy remains the same, but we're trying our best to inform the public through regular, we're going to soon, once we're capacitated, to make this press conference a regular event for everyone, for the press, so that if you have any questions with regard to yung proseso namin, ano nang nagawa ng ICI, ano nang mga nasubmit namin, yun ang way namin to inform the public. Because we already explained previously the reason and the rationale behind it. Next.
Sir, GN po from PRD.
Last na.
Tanong ko lang yung week 1 ba tama itong week na to yun? So ngayon po magsisimula yung pag-iimbestiga doon sa pinaka-ground. Ngayong week na to.
Yung validation, yung technical validation. Ngayong week na ito, we'll be having a meeting mamayang 2 p.m. para i-lay down yung gagawin ng mga technical.
Sir, ibig sabihin yung 421 sabay-sabay ngayong linggo?
Ay, hindi naman. Hindi.
Depende sa availability ng mga engineers. So we will just rely sa availability ng mga engineers na i-provide ng AFP as well as yung DPWH.
Bibilang ba, sir, ng mga tutulong? Meron ba tayong bilang yung tutulong ng AFP?
Mamaya namin ma-determine.
Last. Last.
Good morning, Gerard de la Peña from TV5. General, i-clarify ko lang po yung sa process natin. So itong 421, pupuntahan po ulit isa-isa ng ICI.
Pupuntahan isa-isa ng magkakandak ng technical validation.
Sir, and also aside from yung sheer number ng mga kaso ng mga projects natin, these are 421 and more. Aside from that, ano ba po yung constraints po natin na nakita natin and challenges in terms of investigating these projects?
As far as ang nakikita ko diyan is yung how to connect yung kasi ang mahagip mo initially diyan is definitely sabi ko yung lahat ng signatory, di ba? Lahat ng signatory ng na sinabi na tapos na yung project, wala naman yung project. So doon ang umpisa ng natin ng sunod ng kung sino yung mga makakasuhan pa.
General Azuli, follow na lang din po, yung predecessor po ninyo, si dating ICI Special Advisor Benjamin Magallanes, na-recommend din po na magandang ipatawag din si Marikina Congresswoman Stella Quinto dahil naman po dun sa iba pang mga kontrobersiya ang kanyang kinasangkutan. Have we thought of this or padadala na rin ba natin siya ng invitation for hearings?
I think in due time our chairman will do that. Will be doing that.
Last.
Attorney Asaka, with regard to Representative Ko, if he doesn't show up tomorrow as invited, what is the ISEC going to do?
Right now, the only option we have would be to cite him in contempt, but that's going to be a challenge, knowing that we all know that he's not in the country right now.
Will you be asking a RTC to cite him in
Yes,
contempt?
that's the process because, as I mentioned before, there's no contempt powers by the ICI. So the process there is pupunta kami sa korte.
And if you do, sir, will that trigger an arrest warrant?
Yes, if the court does grant the petition or the application.
So if he doesn't show up tomorrow, sir, by Wednesday you will ask RTC?
Yes, I will consult with our legal team right now.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.